Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the arena on the Hidden Leaf Village Ninja Assassin led by Hokage Baltram himself. We have Leshak Comp with Oneros, Omens, Magus, and some Navy Slicers. Tell me what we have over on the LT side, Mod.
Yeah, so literally, Trigger has chosen, those Maulers that have been moved to zero, a pair of Typhoon Fleet issues, Vengeances, Oneros, and a couple Confessors and an Eos to round out the links in that command ship. We were talking a little bit about that Mauler having been, moved to zero from an illegal warpin, apparently in local, saying that they wanted to come in at 20, but, a Mauler being in at zero is not the worst thing that can happen to your team here.
No, it certainly is a tanky ship, but we're seeing the start as these slicers sort of burn in and burn around, looking to get a bit of tackle. Meanwhile, the Leshak's also burning in. That Mauler needs to get a move on. The Vengeance coming up to screen for it a little bit. That Slicer turning just away. I don't see a ton of DPS on anything on grid, but we are seeing the Vengeances start to burn directly into the Hidden Leaf comp.
Yeah, we see that Mari had got an initial tackle on the shack and then maybe overshot a bit. Baltram now being held down by Mari's vengeance, but the Typhoon Fleet issue of J.A. Aloyus is closing to that Leshak of Baltram, just choosing to brawl it out anyway at zero with the Leshak. That is a very bold move, given that that is a rapid heavy fleet Typhoon.
The Fleet Typhoon's taking a little bit of damage. Worth mentioning that the OS is spacing properly with all of the rep bots on it, which means that Blue Side is not using any anything to get those rep bots off of them yet. They need to get in there with a smart bomb or something. Also, with no control, there's no way they're going to kill it. So they kind of have to figure out what they're going to call primary and how they're going to move forward with this.
Yeah, those rep drones that we see clouding Levy and Nivea, there is nothing on the side of literally Trigger that can apply damage. Those rep bots probably need to shift over to the Leshak of Baltram, and we see them just now make that call. Really well designed, good decision. J.A. Loya is now deciding that maybe he should be 20 kilometers away from the Leshak and not at zero. So we're seeing that the Fleet Typhoon of JA now being grappled for that kind of mistake and being punished. Nothing really breaking so far except for Mari Tachibana now being swapped over, the Vengeance being held down by Baltram and not appearing to track just yet.
Not appearing to track. He is at zero on Baltram, orbiting him really tight, and he does have some reps on him. Meanwhile, Basilisk in the Omen taking a little bit of damage. He is going to get... Oh, it looks like they're actually killing some medium rep bots off of him as they do more damage. The Slicers are also really fast. Their ability to kind of get in and out of the... LT's comp and sort of play amongst them is really going to come in handy here as we're coming down to the wire. They need to kill something off the grid.
Yeah, it will appear that the Eos is now the primary. The Eos being held down by those Leshaks and Navy Slicer. And that Eos is getting absolutely chunked as those spools are ramping up. Meanwhile, the Omen of Basilisk is taking damage. But that Oneros is
there's reps!
That Oneros is not going to be sufficient to hold up that Eos as reps are spooling. We see now a few more rep drones get applied, but I don't think it's going to hold as Basilisk drops. Murray Rotensk now in down, very low in armor, trying to kill drones, and I think is going to die himself here.
So they do end up trading the Eos for a Slicer and an Omen. This is one of the situations that they're going to put themselves in where they're getting ahead in points. So now they're going to start looking at the grid. What's the next primary? Are we going to go for points? Or are we going to just try and beat the whole comp outright? Meanwhile, Mr. Bag himself over in the Omen Navy issue taking a ton of damage as we're seeing the rep bots head over to him to start getting some reps on him.
Yeah, so that Omen Navy issue is being held down by Pishtaki in the Vengeance. And critically, now that the EOS is down, you just have the Magus for Link, so going to be significantly slower and less tanky. Douchebag, Omen Navy issue is not known for their tank. He is going to fall down here. Jaffe in his Typhoon Fleet issue is now the primary for those Leshaks that are within 20 kilometers. That Typhoon being
It
held
looks
down by
Yeah,
the
that looks
Slicer.
like the Foon's getting a lot of damage onto it because there's a Mauler Intervengeance on the Oneros. The Jutsu Repper himself going down. They're getting into a dangerous situation. Meanwhile, though, we are starting to see the spooling onto a fleet issue, and that's a lot of points to lose. They need to do as much repping of that Foon as they possibly can to keep him up and alive so that they can actually win this match.
Yeah, we see that the heavy maintenance bots from J.A. Lois have moved on to Jaffe as Nith Hyken in his
Look at the
tactical
spool!
Slicer drops. Jaffe catching reps, just barely. We can see that the Leshaks are closing with their smart bombs, and once those smart bombs do land, those rep drones will pop. But I don't even know if the Typhoon's going to last that long.
He's just trying to rep himself up right now. I don't know if he has an instill. It looked like he got a double rep. Tons of damage going into his hull. You're seeing the bleed just a little bit. That's a lot of DPS to take off of grid, and that's a lot of points for... They take him down. He absolutely giving them maybe back the point advantage, but more importantly, eliminating some of that rapid heavy DPS off of the grid, allowing them to still have some of their control ships, have to worry a little bit less about DPS. They still need to worry about getting caught and killed by maulers. They still need to worry about the other things that are on grid, but now they get to go to work on the other Foon, and now all of their small control gets to do their job without having to worry about two rapid heavies.
Yeah, and it's going to be 0 rapid heavies in a second. Baltrum is comfortably repping up right now, and J.A. Lois is down into hull. No longer has any heavy rep drones to be assigned to him. Is getting a little bit with those Ansil reppers, but we can see J.A. Lois is bleeding hull. He's going to drop in the next couple server ticks. Baltrum is now getting swarmed by these Confessors and Vengeances who have close to 0, realizing that Baltrum has to drop for the point to swing back in the favor of literally triggered.
Baltrum sitting here going, I don't need the Oneros to rep me. I don't need the help. I can handle this on my own. The Leshak that won't stop. He just won't quit. You're watching the reps as he bounces down into low armor and bounces back up. Meanwhile, starting to switch to some of the smaller stuff on grid. The Fessers and the Maulers kind of the next big targets that they have to worry about. The control from Hidden Leaf Village has to watch themselves. They don't want to get caught by anything right now. But most importantly, they want to keep their point lead. It looks like Baltrum might be in trouble, though, going down into hull.
Yeah, Baltrum's dropping down into hull, and Maddox over was the primary here, but unfortunately the tracking just isn't happening. And those Confessors of Vengeance and Maulers, that's going to be just shy of 2,000 damage with drones here. And I mean, unless a couple of these Confessors drop, Baltrum just doesn't have any more rep drones to sustain him. He's going to have to be relying on his local tank, and that local tank, while potent, isn't going to be enough to hold up against 2 Confessors, 2 Vengeance, and 2 Maulers.
Absolutely loving how long he's lasting in hull, though, right now. He just has more to give. The longer he stays on grid, the more spooling he gets to do, the more damage he gets to do. He's in such low. There's an armor rep, but in another tick or two, they actually get the Confessor down before the Leshak goes down.
Okay, that is huge. The Confessor dropping at the same time means that the Magus now dropping. We're going to have to see what the point situation is like, because with 1 minute and 50 seconds, Marcus Cataline in his Navy Slicer is held down and tackled. Yeah, he wasn't going to be able to pull range.
The Omen needs to get away from the pack right now. We know that these Leshaks are tanky. They have 1 minute 36 on time. All the Omen has to do is live. Wait, no, they're actually behind in points. So Hidden Leaf Village has to pick up a frag. They might kill the Mauler.
Yeah, no, we're going to be tied on points if that Mauler drops. So the CEO is being held down by that Leshak, grappled at 0. So the Leshak of Russian name has exactly 1 minute 10 seconds to kill that Mauler, who is catching reps right now. It appeared that Parkbank has been doing absolute work. Looking at this Leshak, I'm not sure if His guns aren't overheated. He's applying newts. He just needs to make sure that he's able to track, and one Leshak fully spooled onto a Mauler will break it in time, but unfortunately, Dragon Wrath and his Navy Omen has been tackled, and that pack of Vengeance's Confessor and Mauler are going to break him in the next 10 seconds here. So even if that Mauler drops, it won't be enough, and Parkbank MVP has been changed to in the UI here. Parkbank, absolutely the hero of this roster.
Yeah, absolutely doing his job. We talk about it constantly. Good Logi pilots are worth their weight in gold. His ability to navigate, not get caught, and absolutely stay just at the edges. We're seeing the Mauler come back up now because he doesn't have the Omen to do it. It was an amazing try on both sides. We saw the awesome tank out of the Leshaks. We saw the amazing rep pilot piloting. Well done, everybody.
Yeah, that's a very exciting match. Commentators will have to break that one down along with the analyst team as we head back to the desk right after some commercials.